People who had COVID-19 or know someone who did. How bad was it? I'm currently recovering. I'm a 30-year-old male with no health issues, so maybe that's the reason, but for me it was like a mild cold. Felt crummy from Tuesday night to Thursday. Started feeling better Friday. Now I just have a bit of a cough and weird headaches. The testing process was a pain though. First one was inconclusive, so I had to get a dress note and go get another test. Be careful. That was me at the start of my symptoms before it came back and knocked me on my ass completely for 2 months. The stories of the early false recovery are real, so take it super easy, and don't overexert yourself for a week. I have known several that have contracted it, but 2 co-workers died from it on the same day last week, so pretty bad. My sister, who was 47 with no underlying health issues, passed away from COVID-19. It took 10 days, she was in the hospital for the last 3. The scary part is she was making a recovery. Her lungs at day 7 were operating at 83%, and after 2 days in the hospital she had got them to 95%. In 29 hours it was a complete 180. I was able to text with her. She kept saying she was having a really tough time but didn't go into much detail. My brother-in-law and 2 nephews also had it. He mistakenly thought his COVID was just from a good gym workout, as his body was just really sore. My nephew, age 13, puked one night and had a fever for a few hours. The youngest, age 7, never had any symptoms and felt fine. All tested positive. That's just horrific. I am so sorry for you and your family. The getting better before it gets worse is a thing I've heard over and over. It's horrifying. I'm sorry you lost your sister, and my heart goes out to her sons. My friend is in Italy. He got it, and was sick/bedridden for a week while his girlfriend had just some aches. Both his parents, his grandparents and his uncle died, all within a week. Edit, to lessen the horror I will add that his aunt had it too, but recovered. Sorry, it's a rough one for a Monday. Oh my god. I can't even imagine the pain. WTF. It started as yeah this guy had it rough, but it was not so bad, to yeah this guy actually went trough hell. A real nightmare. My grandmother got it. In her late 80s and in a nursing home. She probably weighs 70 pounds and can barely sit up on the best of days. She had a fever for a week and a mild cough, then recovered. We're shocked. She's so weak that when the home told us she had it, we all thought she had no chance of beating it. Weird how it can kill strong healthy people, but somehow spare her. It's a crapshoot. Age and health can weight it one way or the other, but there's really no absolute guarantee in either direction for any specific person as to how it's going to go. Weird how it can kill strong healthy people, but somehow spare her. It's a game of probability. Older people have a higher chance of death, but that doesn't mean someone old will die. Similarly, younger people have a higher chance of surviving, but there is no guarantee they will survive. 30-year-old friend had it. He was so sick that his roommates were almost afraid to check on him in his room because they thought they'd find him dead. Getting out of bed to go to the bathroom took all of his strength. He's fine now, but it took a few weeks for his lungs to feel even remotely normal. My mother-in-law had something like this in January. Before it was a thing, but we swear she had it. She would call us for help, and me or my wife would go over, we live 5 minutes away, and help her get something. She said she was out of breath walking to her bathroom, and then out of breath walking back after using it. It was wild. We all want to get antibody tests as soon as they're available. 3 friends, 2 of which had families, 1 was living alone, so they all decided to live with each at the alone guy's house so their families didn't have to suffer the illness, and if one of them got badly sick, the less sick guys could take care of him. They got a bad fever and a dry cough, and one of them lost his sense of taste for a little while afterwards, but they came out of it fine otherwise. Edit, have families, not had. Glad to hear they were looking out for each other. As someone who lives alone, my worst fear is being in terrible condition and no one is there, or worse, my stubborn parents decide to risk their health and stay with me. God, that loss of taste thing scared me. I was eating ice cream not too long ago and remembered being weary cause I couldn't really taste cookies, nor cream. Turns out it was just super generic ice cream that just didn't taste particularly good. Just heard this morning that a friend of mine died last night. Her partner called 911 when she took a turn for the worse, and in the time it took the EMTs to get there she'd already passed. It was that quick. She'd been tested, knew she was positive. She was told to stay at home unless her symptoms got worse. She felt sick, but not rushed to the hospital sick. Until last night. I'm trying to comfort myself knowing she'd rather die in her own bed than in a hospital surrounded by strangers. I lost my fiancé to it. And I don't know which option would have been worse. In the end I suppose it doesn't matter. I'm so sorry. My condolences to him. COVID doesn't discriminate at all. My uncle died from it. He died at his house while in self-quarantine. Didn't know he died until after he didn't call or answer his phone after 2 days. Sorry for your loss. That award is fucked up. I've had 2 friends with it. Both with no underlying health issues, both in their early 30s. One had minor symptoms and recovered after a few weeks. The other struggled to breathe, so she went to the hospital, was put on a ventilator, then slipped into a coma and died. I'm so sorry. That's the most terrifying thing about this virus to me. It's just so random who gets hit hard. My heart dropped when I read the last part. My condolences. Immunocompromised but got over it in 48 hours of fever, muscle aches and headache, just like a cold. My husband got it and dragged a dry cough around for weeks and still struggles with cardio, and he's the healthy one. We're in our 30s, seems quite random. May I ask if you were on a biologic? The folks at r/Crohn's disease have been hoping that biologics defend against lung damage by limiting the immune response. Would be good to hear it from a real person. Currently in the hospital with is in my early 20s. I rode it out for a week until I could breathe. Sickest I've ever been and never had to hospitalized before now. Going home tomorrow though, so that's good. I'm recovering now. Do you have any suspicion as to how you caught it? How careful were you in trying to avoid it, PPE, washing hands, distancing etc.? Glad you're okay. Had a patient die on Saturday from COVID-19/respiratory failure. This entire month had 6 patients die. Literally Saturday I just sat in my car and cried. It's difficult seeing people lose moms/dads/brothers. Can't imagine how that feels. Makes me really appreciate how strong you gotta be to keep going, thank you. So, my dad tested positive and right now for him is just like a bad flu. Because the test results came back 3 days later, we continued to act normally as a family, so my mom and I probably have it too. We are almost 100% positive that my mom also has it because she is losing her sense of smell and has been having similar symptoms like my dad. There is a big chance I have it too, but I have not presented any symptoms so far. I hope everything will be fine for you all. My mom died from it, so not great. I'm so sorry. Dad got infected after going in and out of the hospital for his 4th brain surgery because the doctors keep messing up. After testing positive, the hospital sent him home, so he infected mom also. After passing, for some reason, they sent his body home. But nobody can touch it because of the possibility of getting infected. After Dad's passing, Mom went to the hospital to get tested. She already knew, she just wanted treatment, but was sent home. She collapsed while walking to her car. They admitted her but only gave her 4, told her she was positive, then sent her home again. It's been rough. Geez mate, that's bloody rough. Thoughts are with ya. Sorry for your loss. My goodness, this is horrid. I lost my fiancé to it. I'm so sorry. My sister was an extremely healthy non-smoker who works at a prominent hospital. She was exposed to one of the hospital's first corona patients weeks and weeks ago when naivety was very much a thing and precaution wasn't taken very seriously. The patient tested negative but then positive after her exposure. She didn't take the same precautions because he tested negative when he was in fact positive. She certainly contracted the virus despite testing negative twice. She was ungodly sick and even weeks and weeks later she's still using an inhaler and has a lasting cough and perhaps lung inflammation and damage. She's 31. Just to confirm though, she's still alive, right? You have me worried with all the was. I'm so sorry for her pain. This sounds so hard. This is another thing people don't understand. Even if a COVID infection doesn't kill you, it can leave you with permanent health problems. Angry face. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.